Hello again, everybody. I'm Michael Artsis alongside Darrell Reid here at Sports.com in New York City, broadcasting live with Sports Daily on Ustream.tv and Sports.com daily, Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We're taking your calls, we're checking out your Twitter, and we're talking sports. We got some great guests this week. We're going to be at the New York Auto Show tomorrow and Thursday. That's going to be exciting.
Good time. Good time at the auto show.
It's going to be a great time at the auto show.
I've never been to the auto show.
We kind of went yesterday, right? We had a little peek.
Yeah, but there were no cars there. Not one.
We had a little peek. We had a little meeting, and we're going to be there tomorrow and Thursday broadcasting live. So you can come say hello to us in person at the New York Auto Show. And in addition to that, you can still call in and participate in the show. We'll have car company executives and we'll have people from the New York Auto Show on to talk about the auto show, and we'll have a lot of fun. We'll check out some really cool cars, and we'll be doing segments which you can check out on sports.com. Now, the number to call in, 347-480-1724. That's 347-480-1724, and you can Twitter us at sports_media. That's sports_media. He's Foots95, and I'm Artsis Media on Twitter. All right. Now, yesterday we talked about Rafi Torres, and I said I thought the NHL, was going to...
You said suspend him for the rest of the year.
For the rest of the year, and they were going to fine him.
I said 5 games.
5 games. Both of us were wrong. I did say before that, though, that I felt it was not an illegal hit.
I remember that.
Turns out Colin Campbell, the head of the NHL's, officiating, right, says it wasn't even a penalty. It was a good, clean hit. According to the rules, I was right when we were talking about this, that a shoulder-to-head hit, when a person doesn't leave their feet and there's no intent to hit the head, is not a penalty. What they're trying to avoid is elbow-to-head and helmet-to-helmet and a vicious intent to headhunt somebody, which it was deemed this wasn't. So he took a 2-minute minor penalty, and they felt that it wasn't... it shouldn't have been a penalty, but it was.
It wasn't even a penalty, according to the
It wasn't
head official?
even a penalty, according to Colin Campbell. But it was called a penalty. But also because it was a minor, it didn't really even warrant the league to look at it, but they did because he's a repeat offender. However, it was a good, clean hockey hit, and that's what I said, and that's what I like to see. And it's disappointing that they even called a 2-minute penalty on it. But I'm glad to see that they made the right decision in not suspending Torres for the rest of the playoffs or even 5 games, which could be the rest of the playoffs.
It seems as though he didn't really help them last night in the Sabres. They lost another game. They lost again to the Flyers. So I don't know if he helped them. I don't know if the vicious hit made the Flyers respond even more in Game 3 and Game 2 at the end of the game. So.
I have to correct you a little bit. You caught me yesterday. I'm going to catch you. Torres plays for the Canucks. And
great.
But the Sabres did not get back on track, and Boucher, the veteran goaltender for the Flyers, who was put in, it was a decision yesterday that Boucher would start.
You're right.
So that's what we were talking about.
Rafi Torres plays for the Canucks, and they were playing the Blackhawks.
Right.
Correct.
Exactly. And we're going to get to a lot more hockey talk later on. I thought the Sabres were going to rebound. They did not, and I was surprised by that. And so the Flyers now lead the series 2-1.
Yeah, and I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in that series and what's going on. And
well, I know you're rooting for your boy Vanek.
Yeah, but their goalie Ryan Miller, he's not. He had 35 saves the first game, 1-0 game, and since then he's kind of been getting pounded. He gave up 5 goals in Game 2, 4 goals last night, and only like 26 shots on goal.
Well, here's the thing with hockey. Especially in the playoffs, you need a hot goaltender. And goaltenders can get hot or they can get cold. But if they're hot, the team will kind of ride off of that. And if they're not hot, which it seems like Miller has not been hot.
I thought he was hot. Game. I mean, he was hot the first game when he stopped 35.
Yeah, but if you're not hot, then your team has like virtually no chance. You need a hot goaltender.
And it's more to the some of their defense isn't playing as well. They've been getting penalized a lot. It's a lot more to the game. They're not scoring as much on power plays and things like that. I think they went 1 for 6 last night. So it's tough. It's tough as a team when you're not playing well. Kind of like the Red Sox started off early.
Right. It definitely is tough as a team, but it starts with the goaltender. If the goaltender's standing on his head playing amazing, the team is going to respond to that.
Definitely, because some of those goals last night were just easy goals.
Look
I think
at you
two
watching
of them,
hockey.
2 of them. I'm watching my boy, you know.
All right, we got a lot more hockey talk later in the show. We're going to get to the NHL playoffs. I just wanted to bring that up at the top of the show. I am glad that they made the right decision to not suspend Rafi Torres, and I'm glad that they didn't fine him either. I think it was the right decision. Let's play hockey. I understand protecting guys' heads. I understand protecting.
Let them play. It's playoff time.
But let them play.
All right. I agree with that.
So let's talk about the Miami Heat a little. I've got the Heat going all the way, and so they show the Sixers that they're the team to beat.
Yeah. Well, as I said yesterday, this isn't really a series or a matchup that anybody thinks the Sixers have a chance in. And obviously, last night Miami just showed how well they're starting to play as a team and how much they're gelling. And really, to me, it starts on the defensive side of the ball for them.
Don't you think that getting a series like this in the beginning of the playoffs builds your confidence and builds everything and lets you gel a little bit more? And especially a team like Miami, that this is their first season playing together. Again, I feel they were built for the second season, for the playoffs. They were built to be a team to turn it on now. And getting a team like the Sixers to just trounce, it really allows you to really put it into high gear going into the next round.
Yeah. It depends who they face in the next round. But I think for both the Miami Heat and the other team who played last night, the Chicago Bulls, or played and won, I think for both of them, those first round matchups they're getting, the Bulls against the Pacers and the Heat against the Sixers, are definitely to those teams' advantages for them to come together more as a team and play together as a team in the playoffs against an opponent that's not one of the tougher opponents in the Eastern Conference.
Well, and the thing is that's what you get for finishing in the top, right? Top of the conference.
Top two.
Right?
Top 2 teams.
Top 2 teams. They get easier playoff matchups.
But I think they need it more than a team like the Celtics need it.
Right.
Because they've been playing together for so long, where a team like Chicago, a team like Miami, they need time. A team like Orlando, to me, needs time and needed an easy matchup in the first round of the playoffs, but they're not getting that. They're getting a tough Atlanta Hawks team that came out and surprised a lot of people in Game 1.
Well, what about Chris Bosh, though? A lot of people said, especially early on in the season, that Chris Bosh didn't know what to do with himself. He didn't know how he fit in. 21 points. Is he now fitting in and found his role? And is that going to help them even that much more?
I think that's definitely one of the keys for the Miami Heat is the emergence of Chris Bosh, or the reemergence, because he was the top player when he was up in Toronto with the Raptors. But since he brought his talents to South Beach, he had to kind of fit in with 2 superstars, and he's a superstar himself. But elite. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James were leaders of their respective teams, and they came together. And then adding Bosh to that mix, he had to kind of find his role. And it looks like in these playoffs, he's found his role, and now he's kind of relishing.
Well, I'll tell you, those Heat certainly look impressive. I think that the NBA playoffs are interesting this year. They're exciting. The only matchups that, to me, are not that exciting is the Sixers and Heat, because the Heat are just blowing them out, and also the Bulls series.
Well, the Bulls series is, at least the game was a little closer. 96-90 last night, 6-point game, and the Pacers are playing the Heat very tough, are playing the Bulls very tough, although Derrick Rose is just doing whatever he wants, and when you're the MVP of the league, that usually happens come playoff time.
Well, we've got a lot more to get to, a lot more NBA talk, a little bit of NHL talk, a little NFL talk, and some MLB talk. On Sports Daily, we'll be with you till 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Call us up, 347-480-1724. Again, 347-480-1724. That's the number to call. Sports Daily on Ustream.tv and sports.com.
Welcome to Sports. My name is Greg Dorman, and this is Rally Notes.
Racing fans, don't forget that on Thursdays at 7 p.m., it's time for Rally Notes. Greg Dorman, rally racing co-driver from Klein Racing, hosts guests and takes your calls about the entire automotive industry, rally racing, and auto racing in general. Rally racing is a great sport. They have Subarus and all sorts of off-road, all-wheel drive vehicles that run through the mud and the backlogging roads. But he's not only talking rally, he'll talk all sorts of racing and automobiles as well. We'll test cars, we'll drive cars, and we'll have a lot of fun. Rally Notes, 7 p.m. on Thursday. Don't miss it.
Live on sports.com. I'm Peter Schwartz, and we're joined by one of the current.
If you want everything sports, you got to tune in to Schwartz on Sports. Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., Peter Schwartz, the esteemed broadcaster, takes on everything sports. He's got everything from high-end pro sports like the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball to alternative sports like extreme games, lacrosse, tennis, golf, and everything in between.
Joined by Minnesota Vikings Hall of Famer John Randall. Last year, you were inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and that is the biggest honor that a player can get bestowed on him. What was that feeling like when you were enshrined in that candidate?
It was unbelievable.
You got to check out Schwartz on Sports because there's nothing you know that he doesn't. He knows everything sports. So check it out, 8 p.m. on sports.com, Tuesdays.
I'm Justin Tucker, the New York Giants, and you're watching sports.com.
If you want everything sports, you got to go to sports.com. That's spelled SPORTCE.com. We're going to take you behind the scenes in the world of sports and a lot more. It's sport, content, and entertainment. We got a lot of great stuff. Technology segments.
Now it's got the front and back facing cameras, so you can do video chats like this one via Skype on the 3G network, and you can do FaceTime, only available on the Wi-Fi. It's got a lot of other great features. You can edit on it with iMovie. You can make songs and voiceovers.
Behind the scenes.
We back, sports.com, at this secret location behind the scenes. Jim Jones.
We'll take you into the lives of athletes, follow them off the field, but it's also music.
Be right here, but it's perfect day.
And other genres as well. Check us out, sports.com, and we've got live shows 5 days a week. A lot of live shows with live guests in our New York City studios. We've got Rally Notes at 7 p.m. on Thursday nights, The Warning Track, 6 p.m. on Friday nights, Schwartz on Sports with esteemed broadcaster Peter Schwartz, 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights, and on Wednesdays, it's The Music Movement with Darrell Reid. Check us out, sports.com.
This is Sports Daily. I'm Darrell Reid. Make sure you check out that website, Sports. That's SportCE.com. We'll be right back after this.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the Warning Track. I'm Matt Mankiewicz.
If you could change one thing about the game today, what would it be?
Baseball fans, don't forget to check out The Warning Track Friday nights at 6 p.m. with Brett Quintine and Matt Mankiewicz. They'll take you through the MLB season, talk everything baseball, have great guests, and field your calls. It's 6 p.m. on Friday night. Don't miss it. The Warning Track. It's out of here.
Welcome to Sports. My name is Greg Dorman, and this is Rally Notes.
Racing fans, don't forget that on Thursdays at 7 p.m., it's time for Rally Notes. Greg Dorman, rally racing co-driver from Klein Racing, hosts guests and takes your calls about the entire automotive industry, rally racing, and auto racing in general. Rally racing is a great sport. They have Subarus and all sorts of
off-road, all-wheel drive vehicles that run through the mud and the backlogging roads. But he's not only talking rally, he'll talk all sorts of racing and automobiles as well. We'll test cars, we'll drive cars, and we'll have a lot of fun. Rally Note, 7 p.m. on Thursday. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to Sports Daily on sports.com and ustream.tv. I'm Michael Artsis alongside Darrell, Reid. How's it going, buddy?
It's going okay. It's a tough Tuesday for me. You had a case of the Mondays yesterday, and now I'm having a tough Tuesday. Trying to work out the kinks.
A tough Tuesday and a followed by a tough Tuesday preceded by a tough Monday. But tomorrow we'll be broadcasting live from the New York Auto Show, and I know that means we're going to be having a great end of the week, Wednesday and Thursday.
Wild Wednesdays.
Wild Wednesdays. I like it. And you know what? We've got a guest for Thursday I want to announce, and this is just in from our friends over at Sports Stars, Alan Herman. We've got a very special guest, Byron Maxwell from Clemson, coming in.
Clemson University.
Clemson University coming in. He'll be a draft pick undoubtedly in this year's NFL draft. What happens with that, I don't know. Had a good conversation with Gene Fugit this morning, and we're moving full steam ahead with our anti-draft show. That'll be next Thursday.
You know I've always been against the draft anyway. I wasn't drafted, so, I'm not against, the players going to the draft this year or anything like that, but I'm against the draft. I always have been, always will be.
You're completely against the draft?
I mean, I'm not a fan of the draft. I wasn't drafted, So I've always been against the draft since I got slighted.
You should have been drafted. I think you should have been drafted. That's what I think.
Well, the NFL released their season schedule today.
Yes.
And
it said no season.
And it looks like it's going to be a great year.
It said season begins nowhere, no time.
Your boy Jerry Jones was at the meetings.
Yeah.
Pat Bowlen, the owner of the Denver Broncos.
Very exciting. I mean, it's
so
great.
Does that mean that things are going to happen? We're going to have to ask Gene. If Jerry Jones goes to the meeting,
I'll tell you why.
Does that mean that
I'll tell you why
they're really
nothing.
doing something?
No, it means nothing.
Jerry Jones is the one who ended the last meeting. You know that, right?
I'm telling you it means nothing. A judge has ordered them to meet for mediation.
They didn't say, Jerry, you have to come, or Pat Bowlen, you have to come.
If he goes, if Pat goes, if everybody shows face, they can say they did everything that they could have done. They tried everything. They pulled out every stop.
I'm waiting to hear how Jerry Jones walks out this meeting like, you guys just, you know what? Jerry Jones probably went because he has the most write-offs out of all the owners that he's got to cover up and doesn't want to open his books.
No, but I'll tell you why making a schedule, they have to do it anyway. They have to make the schedule because they have to take the days from the arenas. See, like at Giants Stadium or the new Meadowlands Stadium or Cowboy Stadium, the teams own the stadium, so it's not as big a deal, but it still is because there are other venues that they can sell it to or other events they can sell it to, like concerts and all that. But in other places where the city or the municipality owns the stadium, they need to take those dates because if they don't take those dates and lock them up, then they go to get them and they're not available. And so they have to put out a schedule now. They have to get ready for their flights. You have to proceed as if there is going to be a
exactly,
season.
and that's all they're doing. They're
That's
preparing.
not positive thinking.
They're preparing,
right,
as if there's a season because if they get a deal done any day, July, August, September,
even October, they'll have the rest of those dates filled out.
Yeah, then
I wonder what
it gets tricky.
I
think it'll get tricky. It'll get tricky if they start the NFL season.
I wonder what the 18-game schedule starting October 12th looks like.
Finishing in March.
Yeah. I wonder what that looks like. That's the contingency
Super Bowl
schedule?
on March 1st.
That is
March 3rd.
Is that the contingency schedule that only Goodell knows about and the owners?
No. They said they have two schedules. They have a schedule that ends that pushes the playoffs a little further. That cuts the 2 weeks in between the conference finals and the Super Bowl. So
yeah,
they got plans.
And what's their C plan?
They got the plan to cut the week, which I think they need to move the Pro Bowl after the Super Bowl anyway.
Well, it used to be after the Super Bowl.
I think they should move it back.
Really? Do you? Why? None of the guys in the Super Bowl are playing it, and that week between the Super Bowl.
At least they can go. A lot of it is about media, the presence of the players, things like that. Just like they moved it back to Hawaii, I think they should move it back after the Super Bowl. Then you got two teams with players that may have a lot of potential Pro Bowlers that have no chance of playing or even going to the Pro Bowl.
I got you. I don't know. I think that it's good where it is. I actually like the move. I don't like the move where they move it away from Hawaii.
Exactly. Remember we
were in Miami when they had the
was
Pro Bowl
crazy.
and then the Super Bowl.
Miami was crazy.
And I don't like that, but I do like it the week in between.
It's too much partying, like in a row in the same place, same clubs, same spots.
Like Cameo?
Two weeks back to back.
What's that diner? Jerry's Diner? Is that it, or is it what is it?
Jerry's Diner down in
Diner
Miami.
in Miami.
Look, I introduced Mike to the Miami nightlife.
Yeah.
Or reintroduced.
It was cool though. We hung out with Guy Fieri and all sorts of other guys. Strahan.
Yeah.
We hung out. Lawrence Moroney. Remember that party at where was that party? Oh my God! At the pool.
At the Shore Club.
The Shore Club. Yeah.
Yep.
Lawrence
Good
Moroney
time.
was there. We ran into him and DJ Clue, who you're tight with.
Yeah.
That
I need to
was
holler
good.
at Clue. Clue, holler at me, man. I need to talk to you.
All right, I want to get Artie in our control room up on mic. Hey, Artie, how's it going, man?
Artie's
What's
not
up?
ready.
How's it going, man?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, we were just playing during the commercial break with that audio board, and I might have messed something up here. Now, we fixed what we were trying to fix, but I have a feeling that if somebody calls in, they won't be able to hear us, or we won't be able to hear them. That's my feeling.
You got a feeling?
I got a feeling. I would switch that switch that I turned to right back to the center.
Nobody on TV knows what. Nobody online.
I switched a
Nobody
switch.
on sports.com right now knows has
we
any
are waiting
idea
for an important
what
call.
Artie and Mike are talking about.
I have no idea what Mike is talking about.
We are waiting for an important call.
Artie has no idea what Mike is talking about. He's in the back in the control room. I have no idea. So Mike's having one of those conversations again with himself.
Okay, well, there is a, basically it's an audio board issue, possibly. And we're trying to work it out. We want the phone callers, 347-480-1724, to be able to hear us.
A tech segment by Michael Artsis.
And we've got an audio board, and I think that we're taking all the phone audio and knocking it to the left, and I just sent all the audio that we can hear to the right.
And
So
last night the Bulls won.
And last night the Bulls won is right. Artie, can you just test that for me? It's that little red one right above 3, right above it. That little round pot they call it. It's not a drug.
See what you did, and I will do that.
Well, do that, and then stay on the line here.
These are the things that most other talk shows and sports shows do in between the breaks or before the show.
Yeah, but we have an important guest calling in, do we not?
We may. If everything in the back is working
Artie,
correctly.
did you change that?
I did.
Really? It seems to have worked then. I think we're good.
Thank you, Artie.
Of course, nobody on the phones will be able to hear us, or we won't be able to hear them, but I think we're good. If somebody would call in so we can test
I think
this,
that happened before, actually.
347-480-1724.
We had it happen with Gene, or who couldn't we hear that time?
That was Gene. Gene had it on
All
mute.
right, all
I was
right.
willing to take the blame for that, but now because we have this issue that started that day, I've got to just say, Gene called me afterwards and said, sorry, I had my microphone on mute, and my speakers on mute because I was doing something else.
Hey.
Yeah. So here's the deal: 347-480-1724. Artie, please make sure you got the computers ready for the phone calls so we can take callers, because we do have a special caller calling in. And in addition to that, D, we want to hear from you guys, the viewers. So it's 347-480.
I mean, while we're off topic and we're not talking about sports, I want to say happy Passover.
Happy Passover
to all the Jewish people out there. You know,
I had a Seder last night. My in-laws, they cooked
Are you eating matzahs today?
What?
Are you eating matzahs today?
I broke Passover.
Okay.
Well, I'm here at work,
I
so
hope-
that breaks Passover anyway.
Oh, okay.
I broke Passover. I had a bagel and cheddar cheese.
I love matzahs. You know that?
You know what? I totally forgot, though. I was in a rush. I was getting
You put butter on your matzahs?
butter is great on matzah.
Little
I like
sugar?
matzah. You know,
Sugar?
last night I had the official matzah.
Do you put sugar on your?
Sugar.
I tried that. I used
Have
to
you
like that when
really?
I was young.
I'll bring you some matzah in. But last night we had the official matzah that's
I seen some
super flat.
I seen some matzahs around the corner. I might.
I bet.
Sneak in somebody's office and steal some.
But yes, happy Passover to everybody, and that's everybody who celebrates Passover.
Everybody who celebrates.
The president celebrated Passover last night. I don't know if you know that. Matzo ball soup. I watched him eat some matzo ball soup.
For those who don't know, can you tell us a little bit about Passover?
What are you putting me on the spot like that for?
I love it. I love it.
The phones are good, Artie says, by the way.
We had a caller? I didn't hear the caller.
We have a caller. We have a caller. It's Moses.
Oh, boy.
Okay, here's the deal. And please, it's loose, okay? I didn't pay attention in Hebrew school. I was thrown out, barely got bar mitzvah, needed a tutor, all right? That's the truth.
And without further ado.
And my in-laws threw a great Seder last night, and if they're listening or watching, I definitely did not have a bagel this morning. I totally forgot. I was running to get some equipment for tomorrow.
I hope Jill tells them to watch and listen to this episode.
She probably is watching and laughing right now, but she should call in 347-480-1724.
Jill, call in. We want to hear from you.
So here's the deal. Maybe I should wait for her and she could help me explain Passover. Passover, this is the deal. The Jews were in Egypt and they were under the control of Pharaoh.
I don't have any notes for Passover actually on my
You know what? There's a great YouTube video that somebody did that really is fun, so you should check that out. Maybe Artie can pull that up. Yeah, I don't.
The Long Island version of Jay-Z's New York.
This isn't Empire State, Nassau State of Mind. Hold on, I don't know. Somebody sent it to me. Just go to YouTube and Google Passover story, and it will really explain it better than I ever could. I'm going to try and.
Well, maybe we can come back to the Passover story.
Why don't we come back to it? I mean, I could give you an idea, but I won't be doing it justice.
You know, I was looking at some of the matchups that are going to happen tonight, and I found an interesting stat today. You listening?
It's called Google Exodus, by the way.
Google Exodus.
We'll get back to that. Views.
We'll get back to that.
Okay.
I found an interesting stat today. Right? Mm-hmm. Today's matchups. The Mavericks play tonight.
Yeah.
The Mavs.
Go Mavs.
Your team. The team you're going for. You know, I think they're going to lose to Portland.
He should change the name to the Dallas Cubans.
Okay, listen to this stat I found. So, tonight, you know, the Mavs play against the Blazers. Game 2, the Mavs are up 1-0.
Yeah.
The Blazers coach, Nate McMillan, he didn't get teed up. He got fined $35,000 for talking about officials and officiating and how bad it was. And there was such a discrepancy with the free throws that the Mavericks got in Game 1 compared to the Trailblazers. So now, what the NBA has done, what I was telling you yesterday, is they've inserted referee Danny Crawford, who the Mavs are 2-16 when he refs the game. So, what do you think about that, Mike? Do you think the NBA is purposely putting Danny Crawford, you know, having him officiate that game purposely so the Trailblazers can have an advantage?
Well, it would seem like it. I mean, maybe Donaghy has inserted him into the game. Maybe the mob inserted him to the game. You know, I don't know how the NBA does it, but it certainly seems like let's put it this way.
You know, Danny Crawford is like one of the top, most veteran referees, most known referees that officiate the game today.
I know somebody who's a conspiracy theorist, and he's not the biggest sports fan, but years ago when after September 11th, the Yankees won the World Series and the Patriots won the Super Bowl, and he had a conspiracy going that the NFL and Major League Baseball wanted the Yankees and the Patriots to win, believing that was the best patriotism for the nation. Now, and that they somehow orchestrated that. Now, we can get this guy on the phone later in the week to talk about this, and I'm sure he'd be happy to. I'm sure he's got a conspiracy theory on this. I would tell you it's
coincidence?
Possible, but I think it's probably coincidence. And I just can't imagine the NBA pulling strings like that. But on the other hand, I have heard and thought about times where the NBA or the NHL or the NFL has done whatever it can do to force a Game 7 in a series for higher ratings, in cahoots with a television network. It's very hard for me to believe that, but on the other hand, I do know a lot of people, and I know that people inevitably make bad decisions, and so...
well, you know my line.
Yeah.
Men lie, women lie.
The stats don't lie.
Stats don't lie. So here we go. Danny Crawford officiating Mavs games. Here's my stats. They lost 16 of the last 17 that he's officiated. In his games, 2.3 more fouls are called against the Mavericks than their opponents. And 6.8, they shoot 6.8 fewer free throws.
Did anybody get those statistics to Mark Cuban?
You know what? Mark Cuban said no comment. He didn't want to comment on Danny Crawford. Obviously, when you
What's
have,
he gonna say?
I mean, he comments all the time. He's the most fine
what's he gonna
owner
say?
in the NBA.
What's he gonna say?
He's going to say, don't let this guy officiate our games. He's obviously going for the other team. He doesn't like me. He doesn't like me, Mark Cuban, sitting
I
on
don't
the
think you can do
sideline.
that, though. I don't think you can go to the league and say, I don't want this official.
No, of course you can't. But you can complain and you can get fined, and he could do that.
But why would he do that? There's no point.
Because
It's
he
not like
always
the league.
does, Mike.
But
This
it's
is
not-
your boy. Your boy
I
always
understand.
gets
I
fined.
understand, but I think he chooses his battles, and he chooses them wisely. And this is a battle there's no way he's going to win.
All right.
He's got to think of it from a lot of standpoints. Even if it's true, even if the NBA sent him out there or somebody pulled strings to get him out there, right? Even if that's true, he won't get anywhere by arguing or pleading his case except to get fined. He doesn't need the attention, and the attention would only affect him negatively. And if he really is going for a Major League Baseball team, be it the Mets or somebody else,
I got a couple
he
thoughts.
doesn't need to make a stink like that
He
right
doesn't
now.
care about it. I got a couple thoughts for you, Mike. Number one, the Mavs are going to lose tonight. I know you're not a betting man, and that's not your thing.
If I bet against the Mavs, they'll win.
You're not gambling and all that, but the Mavs are going to lose tonight. The Trailblazers are going to shoot more free throws, and Mark Cuban's going to get fined tomorrow.
All right, you put that down. Tomorrow, when we're at the car show, we'll break our car show coverage to talk about if all these things happen.
And you remember my three. The Mavs are going to lose.
Artie's writing it down right now. The Mavs are going to lose. The Trailblazers are going to shoot more free throws, and Cuban's going to be fine. But it has to be
within the
related.
next 2 days.
But it has to be related to this.
To Danny Crawford's officiating.
Right. He can't say that that he hates the Portland colors and they fire him for that.
What if he finds a roundabout way to talk trash
then you're fine.
and get fined?
No, then you're fine. Then you're fine. I'm fair. I'm fair. But,
those are my three.
But he can't be like.
Those are my three guesses for tonight's game.
He can't be talking about how the sky is blue and they fine him and.
Well, I mean, it's got to be a legit fine. I don't think they would fine him.
No,
for
but I
him
mean,
saying
it
the
can't
sky
be.
is
It has
blue.
to be about the referee. It can't be about.
Come
It has
on,
to be
Mike.
about. It has to be about the officiating. I'll even let it be that wide. It has to be about the officiating.
All right, that's cool.
It can't be like the floor was messed up and that's the responsibility of the NBA. Oh, you're fine.
I mean, I just thought it was interesting that in Danny Crawford games, the Mavs are 2-16.
Interesting.
Lost 16 of their last 17.
But do you
and
think
it's
that
coming
do you
off
think
of
Danny Crawford is gone rogue?
No. He just doesn't like Mark Cuban, and it's coming off of the game one where the Trailblazers head coach Nate McMillan was fined for talking about the officiating. So it's just interesting. It's very
interesting,
very coincidental. Now, if the officiating was already set for game 2, maybe a week ago or prior to the end of game 1, or prior to Nate McMillan getting fined, then I wouldn't feel this way.
So you feel that the NBA sent a guy who's almost more fair to the other team?
Okay, just to even things out. He's going to even things out.
Okay, do you believe that if a guy misses a call, that he'll then call a call to make up for that?
Sometimes. I do believe in makeup calls.
I
definitely believe in makeup calls. That's a good point. I believe in makeup calls, and so do you. So
absolutely.
Why can't you have a whole makeup referee?
I've been on the end of makeup calls. And I've been on the other end.
So how come you can't have a makeup referee to make up for a whole
bad
game?
A whole game.
A whole game of bad officiating.
That's like throwing a game. A call is,
Well, hey, Donahue.
Did we find this Google Exodus yet?
Calling Donahue.
347-480-1724.
I thought Jill was calling in. Jill, where you
she
at?
Might be. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe we can't hear her. Maybe she called and we can't hear her.
She watches most days. Maybe the audio's not working. 347-480-1724. Sports_media on Twitter. Artsis Media. Foots95. That's Foots with a Z. It's interesting what you're saying. And then if we talk about Chauncey Billups, and if he can't play for the Knicks, I mean, they're done for.
Yeah, as I said, early in the middle of the regular season, as the playoffs started, Chauncey Billups is definitely the key to the Knicks winning against the Celtics or winning or taking the Knicks far or then winning a playoff series at all. Without Chauncey Billups, to me, they don't stand a chance because they need that veteran at the point guard position. because they haven't been playing with each other that long, and because you got to kind of control Melo and stats, and they're always calling for the ball. You know Melo's going to shoot it every chance he gets. So you need that veteran leadership to just keep those guys together and help that team gel. And he's had some injuries prior to this one. I think this one's a knee injury. He had a thigh bruise going into the playoffs. So the combination, it seems like it's building up on him, and I feel sorry. That's my boy, man. I love Chauncey Billups.
But if you're really making a press, if you're pressing in the playoffs and you're Chauncey Billups, and this is probably his last or second to last season, I would imagine, right?
I don't know. I think he's got 3 seasons left.
Really?
I think so. 3 if he stays healthy. I'm not used to him being so injury prone, especially at the end of the season or into the playoffs. This is something we're not used to seeing from Chauncey, but he's a warrior, and I think he's going to battle through it either way. And if he doesn't play in Game 2, that is something very serious.
Well, I mean, it's disappointing, especially for Knicks fans. I think Chauncey is a good player and has a chance to really help this team win. But it's not just Chauncey. I mean, Carmelo's got to step up, and he's pretty much said as much himself. He can't score 15 points in a game.
But what this does lead to is something that you're looking forward to, Mike, and that's in the offseason. If Chauncey is not healthy and does not finish these playoffs strong, they're probably going to try to get Chris Paul, a young point guard that definitely would boost that team and make them have a good
I think
three.
it would be a good move. I think the Knicks should do it. After watching Chris Paul, look, here's the deal. After watching Chris Paul play, I was blown away by his ability and how good he is, how confident he is, and how much of a leader he is. He doesn't only lead by example, but he's also a leader, natural leader. And I think why that's so key to the Knicks is that if they're going to compete in the East with the Celtics, who still have 1 or 2 more years, I think, of full competition in them, and you've got the Bulls emerging as another great team, and you've got the big 3 in Miami, without 3 really solid, great players in New York, it's going to be a dismal decade. And we just turned that corner, and so I think that the Knicks owe it to their fans to now make good on their promise of bringing superstars to New York.
They brought 2 superstars in.
But they need a point guard. You can't get away with a mediocre point guard.
They need a big man, too. They need a center.
I think a point guard is more important and harder to find than a big center. And I think they can go find a big center later on, but I think they need CP3.
I have to disagree right now. There's a lot more good point guards in the NBA right now than there are good centers. I'd have to disagree. You can't name 5 good centers in the NBA right now.
You know what you made me think of, though? I was thinking about this the other day. Can you believe Shaq has played in the NBA 20 years? It's been 20 seasons.
20 seasons? What, 91, 92?
91, 92.
Or is it 90, 91?
I
got
think
Shaq's
90,
rookie
91.
card.
I'm
Upper
gonna look it
deck.
up, but it's
like
so
3D.
close.
He's like dunking.
It is so close to 20 seasons. I mean, just the
I think
fact
he's in 19. I'm pretty sure it's 19. He'll be.
And is this it for him? I mean, it seems
20th.
like it is. 1992 draft, so 1992, 93. So he's at 18 seasons.
18. I thought it was 92.
And he was born
93.
in Newark.
I remember that Upper Deck series. I had that whole Upper Deck
so
series,
big.
man.
He
That's
was
back
so
when I was
huge.
a card collector.
He was huge.
I mean, he's obviously going to be an NBA Hall of Famer. He changed the game, changed the way people play the game, changed the rules of the game.
He changed how big guys were too.
He changed the rules of the game.
Yeah.
You could no longer hang on the rim.
Do you remember that? Do you remember how he used to break rims? And he had those 18.
He used to break
those
the
18-foot
basket.
feet. They were size 21. They were like this big. Yeah, and he used to pull. I used to love that. I wish they didn't get rid of that. It was like hockey, a good hockey game where they broke the glass. He would rip the whole rim down.
Rip the whole basket down because the rim didn't shatter like back when Darrell Dawkins was playing and he would
Why
glass
did
would
Shaq
shatter.
break it? Just because he was so big?
So big, powerful, and his weight. It's a combination.
Yeah.
Velocity times weight plus speed.
And he was making movies out of
basket
the gate.
down.
He had controversy out of the gate.
He was rapping with the Fushnikins.
And he's played on so many teams for such a good player, and he's won championships with multiple teams. It's a very impressive career when you really look back at it. And he joined the Miami SWAT team at some point.
And you can't discredit how he has helped the NBA off the court and his
Without a doubt.
presence. I mean, Shaq, he branded himself Shaq as a brand.
So it's kind of sad
Even
for
though
me
the
to watch
sneakers were
him,
weak and
to watch him limp off a court here, and this could be his swan song.
it's so sad. I feel sorry for my Celtics, or more sorry for my Celtics, who went and got Shaq and Jermaine O'Neal and gave up, Kendrick Perkins because of the contract, negotiations or disputes, and end up with a guy who's at the end of his career, as opposed to when he was in the middle of his career.
I saw him play with the Magic. This was great. I was sitting like 3 rows up. These tickets were bought through American Express when they first started offering that they would buy tickets for people and offer concierge service. And I was a guest of these 3 other guys. And we went to the game. The first quarter, Shaq gets a technical and turns to the ref and starts flapping his beak. And the ref says, "You say one more word, I'm going to throw you out of here." He goes, "I want to go home. I don't want to play tonight. F you, mother effer. Throw me out." And the ref goes, "Bang, you're out." These people wrote a letter to American Express. "We paid to see Shaquille O'Neal play. We paid all this money, and we didn't even get to see Shaquille play." It was like $3,000 for the tickets back in '92, '93. It was a lot of money. Didn't even get to see Shaq play more than a quarter. They wrote a letter to American Express asking for their money back, saying this is ridiculous. He's an entertainer and all this stuff. And it was funny though. I mean, I laughed the whole way. I thought it was great. And the guy was so big at that point. He was so much bigger than the other players. It felt like he took 3 steps and was down the court. He looked like a velociraptor out there.
A velociraptor, that's a new one. I met Shaq before.
Yeah.
He's actually pretty cool. We met in a nightclub
He seems cool.
in Arizona, out in Arizona. I was training out there in the off season, and they were in the middle of the season back when he was the big cactus playing for the Suns. I think it was when he first went to Phoenix, and I met him, and we were kind of joking around in the club, and he was he was telling females like that were trying to talk to him.
To talk to you?
Yeah, like go talk. That's my little brother. Go talk to him. It was so funny.
You
I
guys
was like,
kind of have the same smile.
I was like, oh man, Shaq,
which is flattering.
You're
I
the
mean,
best.
He's a cool dude.
But the girls didn't really want to talk to me. They wanted to talk to him. They're like, your little brother, forget him. I want to talk to you.
All right, I'm Michael Artsis. This is Sports Daily. I'm with Diesel here. Shaq Reid.
Nah, I'm just
Reid Shaq.
I'm just D. Reid, baby.
D. Reid. We're broadcasting live till 2 p.m. and then tomorrow we'll be at the New York Auto Show. And we've got a lot of great shows for the rest of the week, tomorrow and Thursday at the New York Auto Show. Call us up, 347-480-1724. That's 347-480-1724. Say hello to Artie when you call, sports_media. I'm Michael Artsis alongside Darrell Reid. We'll be back right after this.
Live on sports.com. I'm Peter Schwartz, and we're joined by one of the current.
If you want everything sports, you got to tune in to Schwartz on Sports. Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., Peter Schwartz, the esteemed broadcaster, takes on everything sports. He's got everything from high-end pro sports like the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball to alternative sports like extreme games, lacrosse, tennis, golf, and everything in between.
Joined by Minnesota Vikings Hall of Famer John Randall. Last year, you were inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and that is the biggest honor that a player can get bestowed on him. What was that feeling like when you were enshrined in that camp?
It was unbelievable.
You got to check out Schwartz on Sports because there's nothing you know that he doesn't. He knows everything sports. So check it out, 8 p.m. on sports.com, Tuesdays.
I'm Justin Tucker, the New York Giants, and you're watching sports.com.
If you want everything sports, you got to go to sports.com. That's spelled SPORTCE.com. We're going to take you behind the scenes in the world of sports and a lot more. It's sport, content, and entertainment. We got a lot of great stuff. Technology segments.
Now it's got the front and back facing cameras, so you can do video chats like this one via Skype on the 3G network, and you can do FaceTime, only available on the Wi-Fi. It's got a lot of other great features. You can edit on it with iMovie. You can make songs and voiceovers
behind the scenes.
We back, sports.com, at this secret location behind the scenes. Jim Jones.
We'll take you into the lives of athletes, follow them off the field, but it's also music.
Be right here, but it's perfect day.
And other genres as well. Check us out, sports.com, and we've got live shows 5 days a week. A lot of live shows with live guests in our New York City studios. We've got Rally Notes at 7 p.m. on Thursday nights, The Warning Track, 6 p.m. on Friday nights, Schwartz on Sports with esteemed broadcaster Peter Schwartz, 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights, and on Wednesdays, it's The Music Movement with Darrell Reid. Check us out, sports.com.
Welcome to Sports. My name is Greg Dorman, and this is Rally Notes.
Racing fans, don't forget that on Thursdays at 7 p.m., it's time for Rally Notes. Greg Dorman, rally racing co-driver from Klein Racing, hosts guests and takes your calls about the entire automotive industry, rally racing, and auto racing in general. Rally racing is a great sport. They have Subarus and all sorts of off-road, all-wheel drive vehicles that run through the mud and the backlogging roads. But he's not only talking rally, he'll talk all sorts of racing and automobiles as well. We'll test cars, we'll drive cars, and we'll have a lot of fun. Rally Notes, 7 p.m. on Thursdays. Don't miss it. Michael Artsis alongside Darrell Reid on Sports Daily on sports.com and Ustream.tv, coming to you every day, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, we're at the New York Auto Show, and you can reach us on sports_media. Check out our site, sports.com. We got a very special guest, D, on the phone lines. Good friend of yours.
My man TV, Thomas Vanek, who led the Buffalo Sabres in scoring this season. Thomas, are you there?
I'm here.
Excellent, man. Excellent.
Perfect.
Well, thanks for joining us. I know you're very busy in the midst of a playoff series that's going well, but not as well as you'd like. But you had a terrific season, and you've got such an interesting life and career. Born in Austria. Now, most people wouldn't think of hockey as the hockey hotbed being Austria, but you are an amazing player from Austria, and the first player from Austria to be drafted so highly since Aaron Broughton in 79-80. And Aaron, of course, the brother of Neil Broughton, who played on the 1980 Olympic hockey team, and both went on to have a great NHL career. What was it like growing up in Austria?
Well, I mean, obviously, like you said, Austria is not your hotbed for hockey players, but I think the sport is growing. I think back home it's more skiing, soccer, but as far as my background, my parents are from Czech. They fled the country in '82 to Austria, and I was born a couple of years later in Austria. And my dad played pro hockey, so I kind of followed in his footsteps.
It's pretty amazing. When you're in Austria, do they try and make you speak like Schwarzenegger?
I think he speaks a little different English and German nowadays, so I'm not quite sure what that mix is.
Now, talk about growing up. Your dad played pro hockey, but how did you first know that you were such a good hockey player, especially, being that you started in Austria?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's tough to say. I mean, obviously, early on, as a young boy when I was 6, 7, and I really got into hockey, I always played with older kids, and when I was 14, I played with Austrian select team in Quebec, Canada, in a pretty big under 14 tournament, and I did pretty well. And a few scouts there already were interested in me and saying, I should move over here. And my dad had a few friends in Canada that he played in Austria with. So through his connection, I went to Canada for a year and just loved it. Loved the hockey, and then how enthusiasm the sports was there. And from there, I moved when I was 15, moved on to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and played in the U.S. Junior League there. And from there on out, I just kept developing. Got a scholarship for the University of Minnesota, and then got drafted in Buffalo, and I'm still here.
How do you like playing in Buffalo?
It's good. It's obviously it's not the greatest city in pro sports, but I think outside of that, myself, I'm married, I got 3 kids, and it's great. I mean, the neighborhoods are nice, and the great part about Buffalo is it's a sports city. I mean, these people really live and die for the Bills and the Sabres. So it's for myself, it's great. You want to play in a town where it means a lot to them.
Now in 06 and 07, you won the NHL Plus Minus Award, but you were also very close to leaving Buffalo. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can, do something like that, it's special. But it's like I said, individual awards are not. It's not for me. For me, it's about winning a championship. We're in a hunt right now in the playoffs. Obviously, we're down a game here, but that's why it's the best of 7 series. So we'll go out there next game and give our best here.
How close were you to becoming an Edmonton Oiler?
I was close. I mean, obviously, I signed with them as a restricted free agent, so I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen there. But Buffalo matched it fairly quickly, and I was happy. I played for their farm team, and I grew up with a lot of the guys that are still here, and so it's exciting to be still here.
I think what I've been telling Dee, by the way, who's I know a Gopher alum along with you, is that it's unlike football that you don't win, you don't die, live and die by each game. You have a best of 7 series, which is something that makes the NHL special and is good because now you guys can come back and get right in the hunt. What do you think it's going to take for you guys to win the next game?
Well, it's going to be tough. I mean, obviously, there's a reason the Flyers were the number 2 seed. That's a good team. They're great offensively. I think for us, we just need to tighten up a little bit defensively and, found our own scoring groove. We're pretty good offensively as well. The game that we lost, I think every game was so close it could have went either way. It's just about us, not giving up those chances. And then on the flip side of it, when we have a chance, we got to bury it.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of people are pointing at Ryan Miller that he's been struggling since the first game when he had those 35 saves. But like you just said, it's a lot of defense, and especially in Game 2, you guys got a lot of penalties, silly penalties. So what can you do? Because you're an offensive player, you're a forward. What can you do to kind of help the defense and the goalie?
Well, like I said, we got to work a 5-man unit out there. Obviously, I know what my job is, and but at the same time, I got to be better defensively too. I mean, as a team, as a group, we just need to refocus here, which I think today we had a great practice, and we worked on some things, and we'll be ready to go. And like you said, the penalties in Game 2, some of them were unnecessary, but usually get a chance back. So that's something we can't worry about. That's part of the game, but I think the things we can worry about is just tighten up on their offensive guys. And like I said, when we get a chance, we got to put it in the back of the net.
Now, Thomas, how tough is it in a game like Game 2 where you score 2 early power play goals and still lose the game? How tough is that on you and on the team?
Well, I mean, like I said, we got we got those 2 goals, we tied it up, even got the lead, and then we took some penalties we didn't want to, so it made it tough. But like I said, it's a lot of things happen inside the game. You can't worry about it. You just need, anytime you're out there, you just got to give it your all here at this time of the year, especially.
Well, Thomas, I wanted to talk to you about your Gopher career. I think that's so interesting. I mean, the Minnesota Golden Gophers turn out so many young, great hockey players. Obviously, Herb Brooks was coaching the Minnesota Golden Gophers when he left to coach the United States hockey team in the 1980 Olympics that won gold for the USA, and so many of those players went over. What was it like being a Golden Gopher, and how important do you think that was for your career?
That was great. I mean, I have great memories. I still live there in the off season, still train at the U, and
with Cal Dietz?
Yeah, still there with Cal. So, I love it. I mean, I think it's the greatest program, for hockey. Obviously, we had a few down years here in the past, but, they're going to regroup with, you have it all. I mean, if you want to be a top-of-the-line hockey player, you should go to the U. And my time there was great. I mean, we won a national championship, and, anytime you can do something like that, it's special. You know, it stays forever. You're always good friends with those guys, and we're still very close.
How is it partying with Reid after you win a championship?
Probably not as good after he won the Super Bowl, but we had some good times. So it's like I said, at any level you win, you party pretty good.
Now you got Jordan Leopold on the team now out there in Buffalo, who is also a Gopher great. How is it getting him back after missing 10 games?
Well, it's having Leo back is great. I mean, I thought yesterday he played well after just jumping right into a playoff game, and in the off season I recruited him pretty good, and I'm glad he came. I think he was our best defenseman most of the year until he got hurt, and so hopefully with him getting one game under the belt here, he'll be even better for us.
Well, Thomas, I really appreciate your time. I want to correct one thing I said that was wrong. It was about your draft in the NHL. It was not Aaron Broughton as an Austrian, which I should have known because I talked about his brother playing on the USA team.
We'll take him, though.
But you should take him. You should take him. He was the last Golden Gopher to score as many points and goals as a freshman as you did in 2003, and obviously he did that in 79-80, which is also a tremendous stat. But and you were picked very high. I think the highest pick for an Austrian. So I had my facts a little messed up. I was running around doing things and reading your Wikipedia page while driving, which I shouldn't have been doing. But I do enjoy watching you play in Buffalo and play hockey. And you guys should take Broughton.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's a good mistake to have. So keep bringing us more guys.
Well, we hope you get things turned around. Tomorrow night, you're going to be at home against the Flyers, Game 4. And I think you guys, you come out with that energy early on and play good defense, no silly penalties. You guys will be right back in it and tie the series up.
That's right. I mean, we got to come out hard. We got the fans behind us and tie the series up, and we'll go from there.
One last question for you before we let you go. How important is it to play at home in hockey in the playoffs? And to really just have that home crowd, especially when you make a big hit or you score a big goal.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, but at the same time, on the road is fun too. You scoring in Philly like we did. The crowd gets pretty quiet, but at the same time, like you said, you make a big hit or a big goal. You can feel the energy in the building, so we need to feed off that tomorrow.
One last question. How tough is it preparing for a game when the goalies are switching, or you prepare for one goalie and then they switch goalies on you? Does that make it tough on you as an offensive player?
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. I mean, for us, it's about hitting our spot, or for me it is at least. Any goal in this league is good, so it doesn't matter who's in for them. Like I said, for us, it's about getting to the net, getting traffic, and just putting it right by them.
Yeah, just keep playing aggressive. Goals, assists. I know you're gonna contribute to the Sabres scoring sometime within these next games or 2 games or so. And good luck.
And bring the cup into the studios here at Sports. When you win it, we want to hoist it, maybe drink out of it, and either way, we want to have you in studio during the off season.
Perfect. Well, thanks a lot for having me, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thanks you so
Thomas.
much. Thanks for your time. Good luck, and kick those Flyers' butts. Can't stand them.
That's right. Thanks. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, take care, bro.
Well, it's Thomas Vanek on Sports Daily on sports.com and ustream.tv.
I mean, Thomas, listen, in between breaks, I'm texting him. He's like, I'm still at the rink. He told me he actually wouldn't be able to do the interview today, so I really got to, give my hats off, and real big shout out to Thomas Vanek.
Yeah, what a great guy, and especially they're working so hard in the middle of a series here, and they're doing such a great job. So we really appreciate that, and thank you again, Thomas. We look forward to having him on again soon. A great interview and a fun guy, and hopefully
a great player in the NHL.
Oh, without a doubt, and
two-time All-Star.
Hopefully they can turn it around and beat those Flyers up. And make it.
Yeah, Mike doesn't like the Flyers anyway.
No,
so
you can't like the Flyers. You can't like the Flyers, and you can't like Flyers fans. And
here you're going to get us in trouble. What if we get to go to a game in Philly?
Yeah.
Game 5. What a thought.
That's a pretty good idea.
I might have to be sending Thomas another text message after the show.
We could do a broadcast from there.
A broadcast from the game?
I will wear a Sabres jersey if you hook that up. I will go to the NHL store, buy a Sabres jersey, and wear it.
Who wouldn't?
To Philly. That's crazy.
Oh, that is crazy.
You don't realize how
crazy.
crazy that is. Because
Philly's kinda crazy.
you have not been in the stands in Philly for a game rooting for the opposing team.
We're going to try to score some tickets to this game, man.
Let's make it happen.
Game 5.
Game 5. Game on. All right, I think we've got to play before we leave. Our time is up, but the hell with it.
Our time is up.
We're done.
Oh,
it's
wow.
2 o'clock. Can you believe that?
Wow.
It raced by today.
Wow.
We had such a great show.
It's crazy.
It raced by, but here's the deal. I don't care what management says. It's pirate radio, baby. We're taking over the station.
Pirate
Sports.com.
internet.
Pirate internet. Sports.com. We've got to play this Google Exodus clip. So if Artie's got that queued up, and if he doesn't, he has to find it before we go. And I believe we might have a caller that's going to help us talk about Passover real quick.
This is the Passover special. Sports Daily Passover special. Call in 347-480-1724. We just had Thomas Vanek from the Buffalo Sabres on the line. And now we're going to have a little Passover special. I don't know much about Passover, so I asked Mike to try to explain it to me, and of course he couldn't.
I tried to get you a rabbi, but they're all busy.
He's getting help. I'm
trying to get help. I'm calling in a lifeline.
It's called a lifeline.
I'm trying to get a lifeline.
Or the wife line, as we like to call it.
We'll see if she gets this text message. The first one, she said, "Oh my God, I just saw this." And that was when we were on with Vanek, so I had to stall her a little bit. So hopefully she gets this one to call in. In the meantime, we're going to watch Google Exodus, which is a good video, a funny video. It kind of explains it. It's kind of hokey. It's a little funny.
Are our producers going to be mad at us for playing this?
Why are they going to be? Who cares? Who cares? We're taking over the station, baby.
Hey,
it's sports.com.
Pirate online. You know what this reminds me of? Like pirate music, like Napster. Like we're doing illegal stuff.
But we're not doing illegal stuff. We're just taking over the station.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the takeover. I don't mind the takeover.
And then we're going to go to Philly, and we're going to do Game 5 from there. We're going to be live in the building.
That's going to be crazy.
How about we both wear Sabres jerseys?
If I can find a Sabres jersey to fit me.
The NHL store.
I'm going to tell Vanek to bring an extra Sabres jersey.
There you go. Oh.
Vanek, bring me a jersey. Sweet.
We got to hook this up. Game 5.
Wow,
Sabres.
You know what?
And the Sabres,
such a creative thinker.
And the Sabres have to beat the Flyers.
They got to win tomorrow night.
I'm a Ranger fan. I will waive my Ranger fandom to root for the Sabres.
All right, there it is. We've converted Mike into a Buffalo Sabres fan.
I didn't say that. I said that I will waive my Ranger fandom
for the night.
For the night.
Okay.
And the series for sure. And as long as they don't play the Rangers, Buffalo can win.
I don't
they're
think
still
the
a New
Rangers
York
are going to
team.
be playing much longer.
They're still a New York team. The Rangers are going to do very well tonight.
Okay, I hope so.
Why don't you come over for Passover? We'll watch the game together.
All right, let's see. Do we got a caller or what, Mike?
What? Say that again?
We got a caller or what?
Well, we do, but our boy Artie's not answering the phones.
Well, I guess it's time to.
Yeah, that's not true though. People are calling, and I tested the line myself. Okay, nobody's calling. We'll test it afterwards.
So we got the Exodus clip?
We got the Exodus clip. And now Artie, I've given her the inside line, this special person who's going to help us. I've given her the inside line, the wife line, and now Artie can cue that up. But let's cue up the Exodus clip in the meantime. We're going to go full screen to this, I think, by the way. Oh, now he's got her on the phone. Now we're driving him crazy. You know what happened? It's Passover, so the guys who answer the phones aren't there. And so Artie's all by himself. And you can imagine it's complete chaos in there because we're like, Thomas Vanek is on. No, he's not. Yes, he is.
You know what, though? For the next, 2-3 days? Is it 3 days?
You're asking the wrong guy.
About Passover.
What?
You don't know how many days it is?
Well, I mean, it depends.
Wow.
It depends how religious you are. That's the answer. Because, okay, so here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Maybe you should just wait for the lifeline.
But for Reform Jews,
okay,
like myself, well, no, I wouldn't even consider myself
exactly. I was going to say for you,
Reform,
Passover's over already.
Yeah, Passover was over this morning. For Reform Jews, it's last night and tonight, and then maybe the last night, like a week from now. Then for conservative, that's the next step. You've got tonight, tomorrow night. And you had last night, tonight, tomorrow night.
It's Thursday night is the last night, I believe.
And then no, because then it goes on for 8 days. It goes on for 8 days, and then the super religious ones, guys, are like 2 weeks. You can look if you have a question about the days. You just go to bnh.com. Look at how long they're closed, and you have the answer.
B&H. Tell the people what B&H is.
B&H Photo. It's a camera store in New York City, and
I've never been to it, so I don't really know. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. And that was a free plug.
I heard they have everything you need, though.
That was a free plug. Not everything, and you know what? We really use Able Cinetech. They do great by us. But B&H, if you need something right now, they've got it. So I think we've got the wife line, and then we'll have to cue up the Google Exodus clip. But we've got the wife line. My wife Jill is joining us on the phones. How you doing? You know.
Hey, how are you?
We're great, Jill. Thanks for calling in.
You're welcome. Except I don't know how much I'm going to be able to help you.
Well, can you conference your mom in? My in-laws really know this stuff. We're trying to explain Passover to the fine folks watching at home, Jilly, and Dee as well. And I'm not much help. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'll lead through this. And thank you for calling in. The bottom line is that the Jews were slaves in Egypt, right, under Pharaoh, the rule of Pharaoh, and Moses went to Pharaoh and he said, "Let my people go, let us not be slaves." And then Pharaoh said, "No," and Moses went and he talked to God through a burning bush, and he said, "God, I need help." And God started with plagues, and he started with like locusts, and then he what did he do, Jill? He had lice, and then he gave them all sorts of other things.
What do you need me for?
Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Then Pharaoh, every time he'd go to Pharaoh, "Let my people go and this will stop," and Pharaoh would say no. And so the last time they took the lamb's blood and they put it on the door. This is the mezuzah, the whole thing with the mezuzah, that the mezuzahs hang on Jewish people's door. So you take the blood.
You know what? We have the mezuzahs all around the office, and I touch them.
Yeah.
When I walk past for good luck.
And so
you kissing them too?
Well, I haven't done that yet. I haven't seen anybody in the office do that, so I'm just following precedent.
And so they took the lamb's blood, they put it on the door, and then they knew that it was a Jewish door, and so
I believe the reason that they used the lamb's blood was because they were going to take their firstborn or something like that.
Okay.
So they take the firstborn of all the Egyptian people.
I could be totally wrong, but it probably has to do, if not with Passover, but some other holiday.
I got kicked out of Hebrew school. Did you pay attention in Hebrew school?
Hebrew school.
You know what? You're supposed to be Mike's lifeline.
Listen, I was in Hebrew school a lot long ago than you were.
That's true. All right, babe. Listen. So the deal is that then they put the blood. Then after they take the firstborn, and then Pharaoh says, "All right, go, go, go." And then the Jews realize that they only have they have to go right now because Pharaoh's going to change his mind. And so they start to go, and they don't have time to let their bread bake or put yeast in it, so they put it on their back, and it bakes in the sun. They get to the Red Sea, and oh my God, the Red Sea is full, and now Pharaoh has changed his mind, and all these people and the army and Pharaoh's army, they're all chasing the Jews to go capture them, and they're at the Red Sea, and they've got no way to cross, and Moses, listen to me, Moses yields his staff, and he slams it into the ground, and then God parts the Red Sea, and the Jews run across, and the Red Sea goes back to being full.
I know that part of the Bible.
And then I saw the Ten Commandments too, with the guy who's for the NRA.
Stay focused.
And then there's no way for the Pharaoh's people to cross.
So that's how they got
away. The Jews get free, and then they're in the desert for 40 years, and then the bread bakes on their back, and it's matzah.
And that's
basically it's matzah because they didn't have time for it to rise.
Okay, now bring that.
And we eat it to make ourselves remember what they suffered through. So it doesn't say in the Bible, I don't think, if they didn't, if they couldn't go to the bathroom the entire time, like probably everybody else that eats, matzah.
Well, matzah
today.
Supposedly it constipates you.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of going on an all matzah diet.
So to bring that full circle.
Yeah.
So today, the Jewish people
Passover
celebrate Passover as a remembrance.
It's a remembrance and a celebration of the freedom and a remembrance. And so you do things like You eat
You
bitter
fast
herbs.
and you fast? No.
I don't think there's
No
any fasting.
fasting.
That's Yom
There's a
Kippur.
fasting from certain foods, correct?
Well, you don't eat bread products. You only eat.
No bread products, which would include even beer, and it also depends what descent you are, because certain Jews can eat rice and certain, the others can't.
Okay.
And then, she's doing great. I should just let her go with this. Jill.
No, go
I
ahead.
don't like
Go
Passover.
ahead, Mike.
What'd you say?
I don't like Passover.
Okay.
It's very difficult to. I mean, technically, depending on how strict you are, you can't even have corn syrup.
I already
which means
broke
you
it.
can't have
I broke it.
soda.
I broke it. Is that bad?
Are you also following Passover, Jill?
Only if her parents are listening.
Sure. Sure I am.
Babe, I broke it this morning. I had a bagel and cheddar cheese, but
Listen,
I forgot.
you guys
Does
can
that,
talk
do I get a
about that
pass?
on your own time, all right?
Okay,
After
so
the
listen.
show.
So here's
We're
the
talking
deal.
about
Let me
I
tell
gotta
you.
keep them focused.
So then you have the this thing called the morosis, and that's supposed to signify the bricks.
Horosis.
Horosis, whatever.
You're confusing Maror and Horosis.
And it's supposed to signify the bricks and any slavery that's going on in the world, like the hardship that any slaves have to deal with, and the cement that held the bricks together. Yeah.
Okay, that's special.
Yeah, I thought that was nice. I read that last night in the Haggadah, which is the special Passover book.
You were reading last night for Passover.
Yeah.
You must have been Jill's parents.
Yeah.
Well, Jill,
We did a very quick version, and since he's the youngest, he had to read the 4 questions.
I did read the 4 questions.
That's
And we have a
why I
special
married a younger man, so I don't have to read the 4 questions ever again.
She did marry a younger man, and we do have a special edition of Schwartz on Sports. He's Jewish, and a special Schwartz on Sports Passover edition tonight at 8 p.m.
So look forward to that. Are people who are celebrating Passover allowed to watch TV? I don't know the rules.
They're allowed to do it. I think. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, definitely Reform Jews are. I don't know about the more religious. I think the more religious Jews cannot use the internet or computers or electronics. Is that correct, Julie?
I don't know the answer to that. I believe so, but I'm not 100%.
All right, so tomorrow we're going to have another Passover special in which we have a specialist come on and explain Passover the right way.
Maybe we'll do that. And by the way, Jill has been working on a story about the mini crossover, which you saw. We were at the track last week with the Monticello Motor Club. And so Jill's got that exciting story, and then maybe some pet segments coming up on sports.com.
Well, we look forward to those stories, Jill. Thanks for calling in.
Before she goes, I want her to be on the line. Thank you very much for calling in, babe. I want to play this Google Exodus, and then we can talk about it. So, Jill, stay on the line for this, and we're going to play it.
This is obviously the extended show today, Jill.
Obviously.
Yeah, Jill's audio will still be on when we play it. And Jill, I just want to say this. We've taken control of sports.com.
And here's the Exodus special.
As you can tell, it's 2:14 and we're still on.
Is it ready?
It's ready, I think.
All right.
Artie, let's play it.
Exodus special explaining Passover.
Wow, look at that, and applause. Very clever video to describe in modern terms.
I understand the whole thing now.
Passover, exactly. Isn't it so much
Let
clearer?
my people go.
There was Charlton Heston.
That's what it's all about.
Yes. Jill, was that clear?
Yep. I'm just still kind of grossed out by the locust.
Well, Jill, thank you so much for joining us on Sports Daily on sports.com, and we hope to have you as a more regular guest.
We'll see.
And we're looking forward to those segments that you've been working on. Can't wait to have them on sports.com.
Absolutely, guys.
All right, Jill, take care.
Dee's coming over for Passover tonight. He said so.
What was that?
Dee's coming over for Passover tonight. He said so. We're going to watch the Ranger game.
To watch the Rangers game.
Too many NBA games on.
We just flip. We'll flip back and forth. We'll get a bunch of TVs going. All right. This is Sports Daily. For Darrell, Reid, I'm Michael Artsis, and for Jill Artsis. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining us.
Big shouts to Thomas Vanek for coming on. Thanks to Jill Artsis for coming on. Tune in every day.
And tomorrow especially, we've got the Auto Show, live from the Auto Show tomorrow and Thursday. New York Auto Show.
This is Sports Daily, sports.com, Ustream.tv. We're out of here.
See you later.